Hello and good morning. I'm Zach. Welcome to Let's Talk About Us. Today, we're covering a news story that the right did not want you to hear, either because they didn't feel like covering it, it wasn't important to them, or it just doesn't align with the message that they're trying to send right now. We're using Associated Press. It has 2 lean left ratings as well as a central rating, 2 high factuality ratings, and is independently owned. Electoral battleground North Carolina starts early in-person voting while recovering from Helene by Makia Seminara. Asheville, North Carolina. Early in-person voting began statewide Thursday in the presidential battleground of North Carolina, including in mountainous areas where thousands of potential voters still lack power and clean running water after Hurricane Helene's epic flooding. More than 400 locations in all 100 counties were slated to open for the 17-day early vote period, said State Board Elections Executive Director Karen Brinzen-Bell. Only 4 of 80 sites in the 25 western counties hardest hit by the storm weren't going to open. Helene's arrival 3 weeks ago in the southeast decimated remote towns throughout Appalachia and killed at least 246 people, with a little over half the storm-related deaths in North Carolina. It was the deadliest hurricane to hit the U.S. mainland since Katrina in 2005. At the South Buncombe Library in Asheville, a city devastated by the storm, about 60 people, most bundled up in jackets, hats, and gloves for the chilly weather, lined up around the building before the polls opened at 9 a.m. They included 77-year-old Joyce Rich, who said Helene made early voting more urgent for her. Rich said while her house was largely spared by the storm, she and her husband still need to do some work on it. Meanwhile, family members who don't have power or water access are coming over just to take showers. We decided, let's just get it finished, Rich said. You never know what's going to happen. Another voter at the library, 33-year-old Jared Teague, said it was important to show up to vote early, in part because democracy itself seems to be on the line during this election. That's an awesome name. Jared Teague. That sounds like a comic book character or like some kind of like sci-fi like military captain or something. Like Captain Teague. I like that. I like that name. Early in-person voting, which continues through November 2nd, is very popular in North Carolina. More than 3.6 million ballots, 65 of all cast ballots, were cast this way in the 2020 general election. In the 2016 election, 62% of all cast ballots were cast during early in-person voting. Absentee voting in North Carolina began a few weeks ago, with over 67,000 completed ballots turned in so far, election officials said. People displaced by Helene are being allowed to drop off their absentee ballot at any early voting site in the state. The importance of early voting wasn't lost upon the presidential campaign of Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. On Thursday, Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz was expected to campaign in Winston-Salem and in Durham, where he was to be joined by former President Bill Clinton. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, U.S. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith of Mississippi, and Republican National Committee Chairman Michael Whatley were expected to appear on the Team Trump bus tour when it resumes Thursday in Rutherford County, which was among the hardest hit areas. The North Carolina ballot also includes races for governor, attorney general, and several other statewide positions. All U.S. House and General Assembly seats are also for re-election. County election boards have received flexibility to modify early voting sites, including locations and their daily hours in Buncombe County. 10 of the 14 planned early voting sites will be open. In Watauga County, home to the Boone and Appalachian State University, the board adjusted early voting hours to avoid evening travel for voters and poll workers. They also extended weekend voting options. Watauga Elections Director Matt Snyder said Wednesday having all 6 sites ready for Thursday was a feat his office didn't expect in Helene's immediate aftermath, but election officials have been working weekends to get prepared. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't think that states like Florida and North Carolina were going to be able to get a lot of this shit done in time. I mean, it happened just a week ago, you know, like literally 1 month before election. So it's kind of cool that they're able to get almost all their sites open. I think they just said 4 are closed. It's exhausting, Snyder said. It's 16-hour days, but everyone seems to pitch in. Officials in the 25 counties affected by the storm were still evaluating Election Day polling locations, with the vast majority expected to be available to voters, Brinson Bell said. This is the first presidential general election for which North Carolina voters must show photo identification. Someone who has lost their ID because of the storm can fill out an exception form. Well, that is unfortunate. Yeah, because I think most people would have their IDs still, right? Like, because most people keep that like in your wallet, and then your wallet is almost always on your person. So I guess that's a pretty rare thing to happen, right? In this instance, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, because I mean, all the people that would have been affected by that would have already like evacuated. I mean, at least there's an exception form, I guess. And then I do have a video to show you to kind of give you an accurate look of what North Carolina is looking like right now.
Tonight, classrooms remain closed for thousands of students in North Carolina after Hurricane Helene wreaked havoc across the state. Some schools scrambling to restore water, even installing wells. In Asheville, officials aim to have kids back in class by October 28th.
How realistic is that? We are full steam ahead because we know our kids need to be in school.
With no power and spotty internet, virtual learning was not an option, disconnecting so many students.
So I was like alone with nothing.
No, that's something I never even considered, actually. Yeah. How many kids are just like out of luck because the Hurricane Helene just destroyed their school? You know.
They are still part of our community.
What is the biggest challenge right now when it comes to the recovery? Right now is a huge tourism time for us in Western North Carolina.
Yeah, and it's not like they can
a lot of the sales tax
do online learning because
so a
most likely a good portion of the internet in
tourists
North Carolina and Florida is down.
It's a critical time for Asheville, a popular tourist destination for the fall.
Businesses aren't going to have the revenue that they need in order to make it.
Among them, Wedge Brewery.
How much did this business mean to you?
This business is my life.
General Manager Lucius Wilson says they're all taking the recovery day by day.
I need help. My family needs help. My community needs help. We need help from everybody.
Typically, this area would be packed this time of year. The tourism dollars lost now could mean some businesses will stay closed indefinitely. Lester?
This has been Zach of Let's Talk About Us. I hope you have a good day. If you can afford it, please donate to any of the charities that are helping places like North Carolina and Florida and trying to recover. If we can get these families and those kids back to, a somewhat normal state of living sooner, that would be great. And remember to vote. Y'all have a good day.